So people ask me what kind of historian I am. I find that question a bit difficult to answer from a geographic standpoint. I say that because my fields have been quite diverse. I initially began being interested in history with a look at Germany, and specifically World War I. That's when my family had left Germany after the war. That seemed interesting to me from family stories and things of that nature. Thanks to language work, I was able to grow and recognize the benefits of moving into Southeastern European history as well. Thanks to my own personal life, I wound up moving to doing Latin American history. Thematically, I would like to say I'm a military historian or a political historian of foreign affairs. So originally making the move from German history to the history of Southeastern Europe came through language study. I wound up taking CLI courses at ASU and participated in the study abroad program in Novi Sad in Serbia. And that also gave me the picture of the connections that were really there. The architecture was influenced by German and Hungarian occupation, and you see the blending of cultures in a way that encouraged me to see these links as important and valuable. Thanks to the help of some Melikian Center folks, Steve Patal in particular, I won a Fulbright grant to go to Croatia, which allowed me to really become fluent to a point where I was comfortable engaging with experts in terms of language, so crossing beyond history. My most recent book project on Yugoslavia was interesting to me because it took a little bit of a different angle. Traditionally, people have looked at Yugoslavia as a state that was destined to fail. Divisive nationalism pulled people apart. Tito's dictatorship during the Cold War was a way of repressing all other emotions in the state. In contrast, I've tried to look at not the inevitability of Yugoslavia's demise, but how well it functioned. And part of the answer for me is it functioned because foreign policy was a force of legitimacy. It was a way for the regime to sell itself to the people domestically and to people in the broader world. Look how great we are. Tito is shaking hands with X leader. Tito is on another world tour. The Yugoslavs have all these people invited for the non-aligned conference. All this sort of builds a sense of we're the right answer. That's where the sort of last book sort of talked in general terms. So my current research is a collaborative project that extends on what I've done before, which is to look at the relationship between Yugoslavia and China. We don't think of this as being something very influential, but in fact it was for both parties. The Yugoslavs relied on the picture of China as a way to sell itself to its own people, but the Chinese also benefited from the Yugoslav relationship. The planning for how to transition itself from a Marxist power that's centrally controlled to something more globally important was done in part because of the idea of what Yugoslavia represented for them, their understanding of the state, and how they've now emerged today has benefited from that relationship during the Cold War. My biggest challenge as an historian was when I woke up in Bolivia and realized I was going to be living there for 2 years, and I neither knew Spanish very well, nor did I understand much of Bolivian history. But when I began to look at aspects of Bolivian history, as I learned more, I turned to things that I knew about in Europe, military history, political history, and transported a lot of the methods and skills that I had learned from before, and wound up contributing to Bolivian history through various aspects of scholarship that has been incredibly rewarding, having gone from zero to significant contributions in the academic literature has been quite a nice feeling.